Hello, Jeff Cowan here from Jeff Cowan's Pro Talk. Hey, listen, I've got a very special question for both dealer principals and general managers, and here's the question. Do you want to sell more cars? You don't even have to answer because I know the answer is a big resounding yes, especially this year, 2017, when sales keep declining. The manufacturers have put out incentives for people to come in and buy cars, thousands of dollars off, but the numbers are still declining. Why? How can we turn this around? It's real simple. You want to sell more cars? Sell more service. What do I mean? You've all said this a billion times. Sales sells the first one. Service sells the second one. You've heard that, right? Of course you've had. You may have said it already 10 times today. But did you know what that means has changed? Here's what I mean. You know, 10, 15 years ago, what that used to mean was sales sells the first one. You get them into service. Service cleans their car whenever they want, maybe gives them a free tank of gas, a couple of free oil changes, and then they sell the second one. That's all it took. But today, that won't even get close to getting the second vehicle sold. Why? Because today it's all about selling service and repairs. The more service and repair you sell, the more vehicles you will sell. You know, I get asked all the time, Jeff, why do you focus so much on selling service and repair when they're on the service drives when the manufacturers are saying the exact opposite thing? Because I know what I'm talking about and they don't. Follow this line of thinking. Customer comes into service. This customer you've got today, they're savvy. They've Googled you. They know what these cars need. They're surrounded with the machines every day, and they understand clearly, this new customer does, that you have to maintain machines and occasionally repair them to get the maximum return on your investment. So when they come in, they're expecting you to sell them what they need. And here's what happens. If you sell them what they need in regard to maintenance and repair, the car will run better, right? Of course it will. If the car is running better, performing the way it's supposed to, customers are happy. Happy customers sit down and fill out survey scores and give you 100% satisfaction. Customers that give you survey scores like that come back, retaining the customer retention, come back and buy more services. And then here's the icing on the cake. The more service and repair they buy, the better the car runs, the happier they are. So when they get to the end of their lease, the end of their loan, and they're looking back over that 50, 80, 100,000 miles or more of time of driving that car, and they say, hey, you know what, when I purchased this vehicle initially, the salesperson told me that this car would last me easily for this many miles without any problems. And you know what? They were right. So why wouldn't I go back to the same dealership where I got great service in their service drive and buy another car from the same manufacturer? Sales sells the first one, service sells the second one, because here's what happens. If the customer comes in and your people don't sell them maintenance and don't sell them repair because they're either lazy or don't know how to, then the customer doesn't buy it. They don't buy it, the car doesn't perform the way it's supposed to. It doesn't perform the way it's supposed to, you don't get the survey score. You don't get the survey score, they don't come back and buy some more service from you. So you lose there too, but then here's where it gets really bad. Once they get to that 50, 80, 100,000 mile mark or more, and their lease or their loan is up and it's time to trade it in, they look back over all that mileage and they say, you know what? The salesperson told me this car would last me with no problems if I drove it this long, and they were wrong, because the last year alone I've had to put $1,000, $2,000 into it just to keep it running. Now, you and I know it's because they didn't take care of it, but they're never going to see it that way. They're going to see it as a bad car. So what's the next step? They're going to say, well, why would I go back and buy another car from the same manufacturer if it doesn't last, and why would I go back to that dealership? Okay, sales sells the first one, service sells the second one, but what are your service advisors selling? Are they selling the service and selling the next vehicle for you, or are they not selling the service and selling the next vehicle for another dealer? That's what you've got to ask yourself. So what's the problem? They clearly do not understand this new customer. They don't understand that since 2008, this customer and the way they buy and what they expect has changed wildly. So most service advisors today that are dedicated and want to get the numbers simply don't, because they don't know how. They're handling a customer today the way they were 10 years ago, and that customer's gone. So what do? Please stop listening to the manufacturers, because every time you do something they tell you to do in service, your numbers drop further. Stop listening to these product vendors that come in with all these service advisor training programs, because all they're going to show you how to do is to sell their product. So what's the real solution? You send your people to me, and I will show them how to handle this new customer. I will show them how to get the absolute highest customer retention, how to get the absolute highest survey scores, perfect survey scores, and I will show them how to get the highest sales numbers, and here's how you can tell if you've already got the highest sales numbers or not. If you're not at least at 2.0 to 2.5, you're fed selling. Your service advisors are selling the next vehicle for the other dealer. So send it to me. What do I mean send it to me? I'm taking my 2-day workshop called the 6-Step Road to Service Advisor and Service Department Success on the road. I'm going to Toronto. I'm going to Chicago. I'm going to Raleigh. I'm going to Phoenix, Arizona. You send your people there and I will show them how to do everything they need to do to make sure they're selling all the service, all the repair, they're getting you the perfect survey, they're keeping the retention, and they're selling the next vehicle for you at your dealership. How do you get them signed up? It's easy. You click that button right below where I'm standing that says sign up here, and we will get you signed up. You send yourself, you send your general managers, your fixed operations directors, service managers, service advisors, anybody that may ever be on that service drive talking to your customers, you send it to me, and I'm going to put back the meat into that old saying, sales sells the first one and service sells the second one. The difference is going to be is after you send it to me, service is going to sell the next vehicle at your dealership for you. I'll see you there.